welcome to 10 minutes learning from EduCounts. In this video, we're going to learn how to multiply polynomials together or find their product using several ways like distributive property and the FOIL method and the table method or the area model. So what we're going to learn here in this video, we need to try to find the easiest way or the suitable way for finding the product of any two polynomials. So let's get started and discover the several ways that we have to find the product of any two polynomials. Before we start multiplying any two polynomials, we need to understand something we have learned before or we have discussed before, which is the product rule. And in the product rule says that if you have x raised to the power of m times by x raised to the power of n, this is would be written as x raised to the power of m plus n. So in other words, if we have x raised to the power of 2 times by x raised to the power of 3, so we can simply here say that this is x raised to the power of 5 since we have the same basis. One more thing we need to understand, this would be helpful for simplifying our product, which is the like terms. The like terms, in other words, we can simply say that they are the terms that have the same variable and they have the same degree. So here, if we look at x raised to the power of 3 plus y raised to the power of 3, we can simply notice that they have the same degree, which is 3, but they are two different variables, so we cannot add them together. So this is the simplest form. On the other hand, if we have x raised to the power of 3 plus x raised to the power of 2, so we cannot go further and add them together since we have two different degrees. So this expression written in the simplest form. So while here we have x squared plus x squared, so this is could be written as 2x squared since we have here two like terms. So the first example is does or does not represent any like terms. Here the second one as well does not represent any like terms. While the third one is representing the like terms, so we can add them together to simplify our expression. We have several ways to multiply any two polynomials. One of the methods, which is the distributive property, and this method is helpful in case we are multiplying monomial by any polynomial. So if we look at the first example, we can say that here we have 2y squared multiplying by y squared minus 6y plus 5, and the distributive property says that the outside term would be multiplied by every single term here inside the parentheses. So how do you multiply the like terms or how do you multiply the terms together? So the first thing we need to multiply the coefficient. So here we have 2 and 1. The easiest way to do this is multiply first 2y squared by y squared. Then we need to find the product. So this is your first step. Your second step would be 2y squared again times by negative 6y, okay, and then the third step would be 2y squared times by 5. Then we need to find the product of each step, then add them together or combine them together. So in the first case here we have the coefficient 2 and here is we have the hidden coefficient 1, so we need to multiply the coefficients together. 2 times by 1 would be 2, and then we will multiply y squared by y squared. This would be y raised to the power of 4 by applying the product rule. In the second step we have 2y squared times by negative 6y. So we have here the two coefficients is 2 and negative 6. This is would be negative 12, and then we're gonna multiply y squared times by y since the second y raised to the power of 1, so this is would be y cubic or y raised to the power of 3. Third step, we have 2y squared times by 5. Since we don't have here any y's, so we're going to multiply the coefficients together, so this would be 10, and then we have y squared. The last step to find the product is writing your expression in the standard form and combine the like terms together. Since we don't have here any like terms, so I'm going to write the first expression or the first term as 2y raised to the power of 4. Then we have negative 12y raised to the power of 3. Then we have 10y squared, and this is your product, and you are done. In the second example, we have negative x times by 2x cubic minus x squared plus 6x minus 8, and the distributive property says that this x that outside here should be multiplied by every single term inside the parentheses. So what I'm going to do here right now, just multiply negative x by 2x cubic like this, and then repeat the process. So this is my first step. My second step would be negative x times by the second term, which is negative x squared, and the third term would be negative x times by 6x, and then the last term, which is negative 8, would be multiplied by negative x as well. So this would be negative x times by negative 8, and then we need to find the product of each step, then combine all the like terms together and simplify our product. So in the first term here, we need to multiply the coefficient together. So we have here the hidden coefficient is 1, so this is would be negative 1. So negative 1 times by 2 would be negative 2, and then we need to multiply the variables x, which is has an exponent as 1 times by x raised to the power of 3. So this is would be x raised to the power of 4. And then in the second step, we have here that the coefficient is -1 and the second coefficient is -1. So negative times by negative would be positive. So this would be +1. So there is no need to write +1 since it's going to be a hidden coefficient. So here we need to multiply the variables together. So the first variable has an exponent as 1, the second variable has an exponent as 2, so this is would be x cubic. In the third step, we have -x and we have times by 6x, so we need to multiply the coefficients together. Since we have here -1 as a hidden coefficient, so -1 times by 6 would be -6, and then the x's would be x times by x would be x squared, since each one has an exponent as 1 like this. So this would be our product. In the last step, we have -x times by -8. We're going to multiply the coefficients together. So here we have the hidden coefficient is -1. So the product would be 8 for the coefficients. And then since we don't have here any x's, so I'm going to write my x. The last step, we need to write the our product in the standard form by writing the highest degree or the highest exponent first. So this would be -2x raised to the power 4. Then we have plus x cubic. Then we have -6x squared. Then we have plus 8x. And this is your product.